Hey guys, it's Morgan.
What even is this? That's not funny. Who told you this was funny? Here, let me make this funny for you. I gotta fucking reach for this shit. So, here's the deal. This guy is the Atheist Gamer, and he's an anti-feminist. He made an absolutely disgusting video response to this girl, MorGrandTV.
How the fuck can you say that you're oppressed when you weigh twice as much as I do? You're incredibly fucking stupid. To me, you look like you're somewhere in your mid-50s.
Bering made a response video to his before me, and the Atheist Gamer over here went apeshit on Twitter. Naturally, being the stand-up cunt that Bering is, he agreed to debate him in a live stream.
Hello, so we're sitting here in my fucking underwear after having been in bed for 2 hours. Do you appreciate that? You appreciate me?
Well, yes.
The long story short for this one is that this guy unloads a flurry of insults on MorGrand for no good reason, and as soon as he gets called out for it, he tries to pull the whole feminist victim complex, as though anyone is going to take him seriously. This guy was such a dickbag that I had to throw in my own 2 cents.
Remember my last video, fellas, where I talked about these land whales who are in this Macy's commercial promoting fat acceptance? It's like all those land whales decided to fuse together to create this one girl.
Where do you get off criticizing someone else's appearance, you fat mook? I've heard of having no self-awareness, but do you even pass a Turing test?
It's terrifying.
I don't really want a long introduction, but I'm sorry I haven't made videos. My hair is purple, blah 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 blah.
When I say this, your hair is the last thing you need to worry about. Talking about your weight.
Okay, if she's fat, what does that make you? Moby douchebag?
A couple months ago, I saw a post on Facebook, and it's been bugging me the entire time. So the post on Facebook is, I'm sick and
Did you just bark?
I'm sorry, did I just bark? No, I didn't. The fuck is wrong with you?
tired of these feminists.
Oh, okay. You don't know how to edit videos. I gotcha.
Why are you censoring yourself, my dear? Especially with a dog's bark. Granted, it's appropriate for you.
Yes, it is. But not for the reason you're thinking of, jackass. Let me show you what else is appropriate. Ugh. I still can't make that funny. I can't do it. I can't do it!
Still, it's completely pointless. It's just one curse word. Or is it because you want to be more professional?
It could possibly be because she's 14 and just simply didn't want to get in trouble. Now, I've been known to give people shit online for finding it objectionable to say certain mundane words, like moist, curd, bulbous, loose.
Dreadful tinny sort of word. Tin.
Oh, yeah, don't say tin to Rebecca. You know how it upsets her.
But if someone doesn't want to swear, especially if they're underage, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There are far more words in the English language that you can use to convey an idea more accurately than just fuck.
Well, either way, this does remind me of a certain scene from Dragon Ball Z. You know, this kind of fits the scenario.
It reminds you of a what?
Of a certain scene from Dragon Ball Z.
A scene from Dragon Ball Z. What scene? This scene?
What are you, insane?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like you. Anyways, here's where the real meat of this video begins. From this point forward, he pretty much just goes back and forth between terrible fat jokes and poorly presented points. I was gonna go through it and point out exactly what he did wrong, but it just feels like a waste. Instead, let's have a short montage of him making a complete fool of himself.
Don't reproduce. Please, for the love of Christ, do not reproduce. I bet you 50 fucking bucks she disabled her rave the comments. You have your head up. You have your head shut up your ass. What? So, you know what? I'm not gonna even bother putting a link. We need a Sarkeesian, your Lord and Savior. What? You don't get paid less, you Because you're nothing more than a fat, greedy, fucking asshole. You know what? I'm just gonna make a straight up video response and tell you on how ridiculously stupid you are. What? You gotta dictate men's lives. Is that so wrong? Seriously, you're nothing more than a greedy fucking hog, and your weight proves it. Let's be honest, you're one of those type of people that will never respond to anything that anyone will ever say unless you get paid to do so.
Give my response.
We got ourselves a bass!
Classy, right? Our atheist gamer friend here superimposes the words of other feminists onto Morgan in his head, and then he makes her out to be this big bad feminazi Goliath instead of just a girl making a video on the internet. The Atheist Gamer here could have made a video where he actually addressed her points and explains why his side of the argument is correct. But because he was so blindsided by his own distaste for feminism, he can't see the forest for the fucking trees. This is why he felt justified in taking pot shots at someone who has done absolutely nothing to deserve it. And to some degree, this exemplifies the utterly poor character of this individual. Now, from here let's have a look at the live stream he did with Bearing. Bearing does his best to convey exactly what was wrong with his video, and it completely falls on deaf ears. You see, instead of being intelligent and taking his criticism on the nose like a champ, he basically just spends an hour shitting himself and trying to weasel out of the situation, instead of just being a decent human being and admitting that he did something wrong.
You know, I've gone after 14-year-olds. I admit that. But, you know, every video that I made, you know, I do my very best to keep calm, keep collected, just point out the flaws.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Your video is 12 minutes and 28 seconds. Out of those 12 minutes, how many seconds can you be described as calm or collected? Literally none. How many concrete points did you make? One and only one. And even that single point about the wage gap you completely flubbed by not expanding upon it and wording it in an asinine way.
You're already equal. You already get paid the same amount of that of a man. The thing is that you earn less.
The rest of your video is just piss poor insults, you piece of shit.
Doesn't matter if, you know, doesn't matter about age. What's matter is the point.
Okay.
And I pretty much, you know, yes, I insulted the girl. You know, I insulted her. You know, the reason why I did that is because
calm down, settle down, breathe deeply, settle down, and get your point across the way you want.
Okay.
This is the beginning of the bullshit in this live stream. You see, the Atheist Gamer here knows that he's done something wrong, and from here on he says everything he can to justify his actions, without ever taking a step back to really ask himself, is it possible that I maybe kinda sorta goof just a little bit? Tiny bit. This is what made me want to make a video about this situation. Bearing did not have to take the time to get up and do a live stream with him, especially not for him to just flagrantly dance around the conversation, waste the time of both Bearing and the audience, and to have learned absolutely nothing by the end of it. I've seen a fair number of people seriously postulate that this guy might be autistic or have some sort of mental disorder, and I've even seen a video response criticizing Bearing for picking on him despite them perceiving him to have some sort of mental inability. Listen, this kid is not autistic, he just has a really shitty personality. And even if he were, the Atheist Gamer has already shown that he is perfectly capable of coming up with a reasoned and rational response. He was featured as a guest video on Undoom's channel in September 2015, and he even made a decent response to Lacey Green just a little while ago.
Hey internet, question. Have you ever worried that someone was lying about rape every single time a woman comes forward about having been abused by a beloved movie star, musician, TV star, YouTubers? That star's fans immediately accuse her of lying.
Well, there has to be some form of skepticism. Keep in mind that evidence is what people need in order to judge. Sure, fans will defend their favorite actor, but there will also be people who will take the side of the victim just for being the victim. Overall, it all depends on the situation at hand.
This guy was just being a cunt for the sake of being a cunt, and now he wants to shirk any and all responsibility for it because someone called him out.
Anyway,
Yes.
go on.
I also even agree with her, you know, with the fact that we should in fact teach consent to boys and girls because, you know, consent is important. How they define on what consent is, it's fucked up.
But she didn't define consent. I think you define consent in your head. She never said we've got to teach boys and girls consent, and this is what consent is.
And here is where Bering hit the nail right on the head. All Morgan said was that we need to teach boys and girls consent. Not that I agree with it, but that's all she said. What the Atheist Gamer heard was, all men are rapists and they need forced re-education. Congratulations, dipshit. You've literally become the feminist straw man of what an anti-feminist is. Are you proud of yourself? There are feminists who say that all men are sexist, and yes, there are feminists who say that all men are rapists. And yes, there are feminists who try to redefine consent and rape so that when a man is accused of rape, he is guilty until proven innocent. But you need to take a step back and think about what Morgan actually said.
I have never met anyone who has thought like boys are inherently rapists. Like, no, I think that you need to have a conversation with both girls and boys at a certain age about consent, because sex without consent is rape.
You are not responding to Anita Sarkeesian. You are not responding to Steve Shives. You are not responding to anyone who says these things. You are responding to someone who personally defines feminism like this.
It's not about hating people. It's about loving people and being equal. Like, ugh.
And she is not responsible for the words or actions of any of those other feminists. Do you even understand what you've done here? You're using the same collectivist bullshit that feminists do. By your own logic, that makes every other anti-feminist on YouTube responsible for the bullshit you spew in your video. And by that same logic, every single YouTuber who disagrees with feminism can legitimately be called misogynistic, racist, sexist, transphobic, just because someone somewhere calling themselves an anti-feminist said something that those titles actually apply to.
I wasn't arguing whether the few arguments that you were making were right or wrong. You were right about most of them. Just you delivered them in a massive cunty way. That is what I was trying to highlight, and I highlighted that sufficiently to the point that I took it to. So therefore, the rest of your video became irrelevant then, didn't it? Because I'd shown what I needed to show. Now, just like you cut out bits of video that you cover that are irrelevant, I do too. Does that make sense?
Okay. So your entire point of my video is that I'm an asshole.
No. Shut up. Shut your fat fucking face. You know what you did wrong. And unless the next words out of your mouth are, yes, Bering, I went too far. I understand that. I won't do it again. I don't want to hear it. But you're not going to say that, are you? No, you're not. You're going to spend the next 40 minutes naming every single fucking first world problem in your life, as though it somehow justifies you acting like a bag of dicks. You've been on YouTube for 2 years now, and in that time, you've grown at the speed of a fucking cactus. Let me point out what Bering tried to show you. You have a problem admitting your mistakes and learning from them. Before you make another video on anti-feminism, go watch Teal Deer's Intellectual Rigor versus Ponage, because that video directly applies to you. Unfortunately, this is where the video will have to end. Like I said, the Atheist Gamer just spends the next 40 minutes bitching about shit no one cares about.
Let me tell you about my mornings. Monday to Friday for the next, 3 more weeks, I have to get up in the morning, eat breakfast, get changed, take a bath.
Get to the fucking point!
But let this serve as a lesson, kids. Don't imagine what the road might look like while you're trying to drive down it. Use your fucking eyes.